How many businesses are sitting on genuine sustainability intentions right now and doing nothing with them? Not because they don't care, but because they're not sure it's enough, not sure it's perfect, not sure it won't invite criticism. But what if it just required showing up, consistently, transparently, in partnership with others, and trusting that 1% at a time adds up? That gap between intention and action might be the single most expensive problem in the sustainability space right now. And in this episode, we're going inside the organization that has built one of the most effective models for closing it. On It Shouldn't Be This Hard, we talk to business leaders, sustainability professionals, and social impact entrepreneurs working at the intersection of purpose and performance, hosting lively, playful, and often provocative discussions around why sometimes it's so hard to do the right thing and to do the right things. In this Earth Day episode, we're joined by Kate Williams, CEO of 1% for the Planet, the global network founded by Yvon Chouinard that has certified over $800 million in environmental giving, one committed business at a time. Progress over perfection, small actions aggregated into global impact, and a network that grows stronger every time another business decides to stop waiting and start doing. When you think about what actually drives environmental impact at scale, not in theory, but in practice, the honest answer is rarely a single transformational moment. It's something much less dramatic and much more powerful.
I do think we're kind of proof positive that and this is our theory of change, simple actions done repeatedly in community can change the world at scale. We've certified more than 800 million US dollars in our lifetime, and that's made up of a little 1% here, a little 1% there, aggregated to be this sizable number that has global reach.
$800 million from 1%, not from a single transformational moment, not from a landmark policy win, from accumulated small commitments made by businesses that decided to stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start doing something with the conditions they had. But here's what makes it genuinely hard, and what Kate is completely honest about. Because right now, the sustainability space has created two equally paralyzing failure modes, pulling businesses in opposite directions.
I think we've, in a lot of ways, taken a page out of our founder, Yvon Chouinard's book, which is don't ever think it's about being perfect, because no one is, and we never will be, but be as transparent as we can be. So share what we know when we know it. If there's something we're still figuring out, be open about that. And the economy has an impact on the planet, full stop. If we can make progress, aggregate progress at scale to get better and better and better.
Right. That progress, not perfection, I think is exactly right. We've talked about that a lot from how we try to think about our tone of voice. Sometimes it's easy to get pissed off, right? When somebody's not, a company or individuals aren't behaving the way you'd like them to behave, and then start finger wagging. But it's not helpful, because if we don't try to instill the belief of progress and not be quite so critical from that ivory tower, we're going to be too afraid to talk about the things we are doing right. And it'll be too hard to build momentum around those things. None of us live in that glass house. And so I think it took me a little while when I started working in sustainability to really understand that. I think I quickly jumped in, and this is the right thing to do, and therefore I'm going to be critical of those that aren't, because for God's sakes, just, take plastic out of your stream. How hard is that? But it's actually really, really hard. And if we don't have forgiveness along that journey, it will never happen.
It's almost like it kind of feels we're kind of a bit stuck in this massive intention action gap right now, right? You've got greenwashing on one end of the spectrum, and then you got
greenwashing
on the other end of the spectrum. And people are kind of I kind of get the sense that a lot of companies are kind of bouncing around in the void in between, right? Not really quite sure where to land.
Greenwashing on one end, greenhushing on another, and in the middle, good businesses with even better intentions going quiet because they're afraid of getting it wrong. That silence is costing us, not just in missed progress, but in lost momentum, lost partnerships, and a movement that can't build if the people inside won't talk about what they're actually doing. Kate's answer to that isn't a better communication strategy, it's a values framework, and it starts with giving businesses and people permission to be imperfect in public.
I'm a big proponent of movement building because what we need to do is accelerate change at scale. And we do that by like seeking to build sort of common ground and coming together and moving forward and recognizing that we're all at different stages, but if we all move forward.
What's the hardest part in building a movement? What's the hardest part in managing and facilitating partnership and getting lots of diverse stakeholders with lots of potentially different objectives and different stressors to kind of pull together and come together and work together?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the hardest part is that it is like partnerships, which are made up of people who are living in a world that's dynamic. And so we feel pressure and things are changing and, there's stress and, so it's a like human interaction, which is like the greatest lift, but can also be, challenge. And I would say for us, what we've tried to do is be really clear about who we are. We have managed the 1% for the Planet network as a global network and a global community. And we, show up in different communities. Like last year we did our sessions event. So, Ventura, we were in Amsterdam, we showed up with partners in London for another event. So we show up and sort of do convenings around that. And, that's enabled us to show up both as a partner, but also to show up as a convener in ways that like bring people together.
Show up as a convener, build common ground, be really clear about who you are. That's not just how 1% for the Planet operates. It's a replicable model for any business trying to build a sustainability coalition, whether that's across a supply chain, an industry, or a local community. You don't need everyone to agree on everything. You need a platform that makes showing up easier than staying out. And you need to trust that the aggregation works, because the math proves it does. If you work in sustainability, impact, or purpose-driven business, you know how easy it is to get caught between the pressure to be perfect and the fear of saying the wrong thing. 1%'s answer to that, built over years and proved out by $800 million, is disarmingly simple. Simple actions done repeatedly in community. So go back to your teams, your partners, your supply chains, your stakeholders, recommit to your 1%, find your community. And as Kate said, the economy has an impact on the planet. And the businesses that understand that and act on it consistently are the ones building something that lasts. Visit us at grounded.world because it shouldn't be this hard. And with the right partners, like us, it doesn't have to be.